folks. Okay.
Was in a video game, what would their stats be? Let's start out
with the blacks.
HP, low. Turns out not having great access to healthcare means you don't live as long. Buffs, Johnson size. Debuffs, credit score, and fat white women. Strength, I'm gonna say pretty high. Speed, high, but not high enough to escape their masters, apparently. Resistance, awkwardness. Black people are just born with a certain level of swag and have maxed out their support levels. IQ, low. And don't blame me, you're the one skipping school. Sure, you come from a single-parent household with a father in prison and teachers who don't want to put in the effort, but not getting good grades is still your fault. Oh, well, I'm smart. Okay, here's a math problem. You have $250. The stock market goes up an average of 7.5% a year. How much money do you have at the end of the year? The answer is nothing, because you spent it on a new pair of Jordans. Endurance, incredible. I mean, they literally built America. Luck, terrible. To go from slavery to segregation to finally getting your own Band-Aid color is pretty unlucky. Stealth, depends. In daytime, it's terrible, but nighttime, it's max. The only thing you'll see is floating Sauron eyes with an occasional puff from a Newport. Special ability, better at all sports. Have you seen the top 20 basketball players? It's black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, black eye, random outlier, black eye, black eye, black eye. Next up, Asians. HP, massive. In the United States, they have the highest life expectancy. Probably because dying isn't nearly as bad as bringing your family shame. Debuffs, sorry Asians, God did you dirty in the Johnson department. Buffs, luckily to balance it out, he made every Asian child size. Strength, in relation to body weight, high. Compared to any black person, low. Speed, average. Unless it's a hot dog eating contest. Then they're an expert in farming. Resistance, proud parents. IQ, Asians are close to maxing out their IQ. I guess having your teacher beat you with a rod, then having your parents beat you with the same rod, is a good way to increase work ethic. Happiness might exist if they had Christmas. You know why Asian kids don't believe in Santa? Because they're the ones making the toys! Endurance, very high. Working in a sweatshop is hard, and I should know because I've walked a mile in their shoes. Luck, average, which isn't surprising considering most of them are bots. Special ability, invisibility. I don't even know why ninjas wear masks when you can just back up 10 feet into a crowd and completely disappear. Next up, whites. HP, above average. Buffs, jab applications. Debuffs, a girlfriend with no gag reflex. Strength, physically average. Strength in dominating other countries, max. Speed, like kids on Adderall, high. Resistance, accountability. IQ, average, as we have the smartest and dumbest people out there. I can't even believe Einstein and Vin Diesel are the same species. Happiness, low. You think it'd be high considering we conquered the world, but with every technological advancement, we just invent new ways to get depressed. Like my magic phone keeps buffering Django Unchained. Ugh, now I know what being a slave feels like. Endurance, average. Luck, max. Aside from being a man in a first world country, you can't get much luckier than being white. Special ability, winning. White people are like a DLC character that's just better than the rest of the cast. Don't believe me? Go to any museum and check out our KD ratio. Next up, Japanese. HP, well, they have one of the high suicide rates, so very low. Buffs, tentacle porn. Debuffs, strength, pretty high, probably because they have a small hitbox. Speed, above average, unless it involves their Nezuko body pillow, then it's feverish. Resistance, big titties. IQ, very high. Japan is on the forefront of technology. They got bullet trains, bidets in every hotel, and there's spots that don't judge you. This doesn't normally happen to me.
There, you tried your best. Would you like me to eat your butt now?
Yeah. Happiness, pretty low, unless you get lucky and have 2 used panties dropped from the vending machine. Endurance, very high. 2 nuclear bombs prove they're good at tanking. Luck, horrible. If you're a girl, you've probably been groped on a train. And if you're a guy, you can't even grope someone without them complaining. Special ability, if you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's... Sorry, this one's really stupid. Okay. If you put an unsolved Rubik's Cube in a Japanese woman's cooter and it comes back solved, she's pregnant. Next up, Koreans. HP, well, their life expectancy is around 83, so very high. Buffs, Gundam style, and BBQ. Debuffs, driving. Strength, it's hard to tell because all the characters use the same skin. Speed, need for. Resistance, feeling loved. IQ, very high. Koreans tend to excel at math. Probably because their dog can never eat their homework. Happiness, Koreans have maxed out their sadness. In America, we're great at ending each other, but South Korea, they're great at ending themselves. Koreans have the highest self-slaughter rate, which might be because of their parents. Korean parents are born with disappointment in their children, which is a great motivator if you want your kid to become a CEO, so he can jump from a higher window. Endurance, very high. Every other week, their next-door neighbor threatens them with nuclear warfare, and yet they still find a way to dance to shit music. Luck, low. This is considered sexy in South Korea. The dude looks like a big toe that wished he became a person, then decided to have a sex change. Special ability, can lower their frame rate when dancing. Next up, Mexican. HP, above average. Buffs, manual labor. Debuffs, paying taxes. Strength, high. Cockfighting taught them to go for the jugular. Speed, very high. Can complete any construction project in half the time of a white person. Resistance, birth control. IQ, low. If they were smart, they'd kidnap their racist farm owners, unionize, pool their money together, buy the farm they're originally working on, then hire another poor race to do the work. Happiness, pretty high, which is surprising considering they spend most of the game completing escort missions. Endurance, max. You ever seen a Mexican not hustling? You can call them drug dealers, criminals, bums, and they'd still be like, "Si, senor, so the whole lawn and the hedges?" Luck, terrible. You're so close to America, and yet so far. Special ability, border crossing. Next up, Indian. HP, well, they believe in reincarnation, so I guess that means they maxed out their HP. Once it goes to 0, the game just resets with a new character. Buffs, Krishna. Debuffs, reality. Strength, it's gotta be high if they can drink their water and not instantly get diarrhea. Speed, slow. Too many people are playing Train Simulator, causing it to lag. Resistance, spicy foods. IQ, average. They recently landed a rocket on the moon, and yet half their population can't even spell rocket. Happiness, low. There's no such thing as your own room in India. Just a spot on the ground. Endurance? Well, if we're talking about keeping their wife in check, then it'd be max. Luck? Very low. India is one of the most densely populated places on the planet, and they only have like 7 toilets. Special ability can respawn with a different character. Next up, Native Americans, who are in desperate need for a buff. Their HP is very low. They have the worst life expectancy out of all the races. Probably because a shaman shaking maracas doesn't help cure cancer. Buffs, peace pipes. Debuffs, spawn camping. Hey, what are you doing on my land? Strength, low. You know what beats a bow and arrow? Any gun. Speed, very low. Which would you rather, 1 horsepower or 640? Resistance, fast travel. IQ, low. If Pocahontas was smart, she would have blown her way to the top. Honey pot the enemy into revealing some of their war plans. But instead, she was too busy getting her clam wet, as her people were the ones actually getting f***ed. Happiness? Depends how good my trip is. Endurance, very low. I'm pretty sure there's only like 14 left. Luck, low. That dream catcher isn't preventing nightmares. It's making you live one. And special ability, obviously, tax-free land. Next up, Muslim. HP, depends if they're wearing the vest or not. Buffs, oppression. Debuffs, equality. Strength, very high. Praying 5 times a day to someone who doesn't let you taste sin is next level devotion. Speed, low. That camel isn't beating my horse. Resistance, Christmas spirit. IQ, very high. Convincing half the population they're an NPC is really quite insightful. Happiness, well, if you're a man, high. If you're a woman, then you better hide those ankles. Endurance, max. Fasting while it's 112 degrees outside really builds your tolerance to neglect. Luck, sir, you've been randomly selected for additional screening. And special ability can speed run their way to another dimension. Next up, Irish. HP, low. The liver can only take so many critical hits. Buffs, storytelling. Debuffs, alone time with Father Cunningham. Strength at holding me down, max. Speed, low. Hard to outrun your problems when you're sitting at a bar. Resistance, therapy. IQ, low. Maybe if you stop believing in genies, you'd stop asking for wishes. Happiness, low. Hard to feel special when your child's 6 of 9. Endurance, high. Survive potato famine, war, and inbreeding. Luck, low. A 4-leaf clover isn't gonna make her bend over. And special ability, being a white immigrant. Next up, Italian. HP, very high. Apparently talking with your hands is good cardio. Buffs, gaudy jewelry. Debuffs, controlling their temper. Strength, +10 every time someone mentions family. Speed, Jesus, do they even have traffic laws here? Resistance, shame. A wife beater isn't a shirt, and kissing your mom on the lips is gross. IQ, high. Figured out a way to monetize bad engineering. Happiness, high. Hard to be sad when you have a Vespa, some wine, and a mistress. Endurance, low. Are easily triggered by pineapple on pizza. Luck, moderate. Their pasta isn't greasy, but the reflection sure is. And special ability, culinary enchantment. Any meal they make adds +20 happiness. Next up, British. HP, average. Strengthened by sarcasm, weakened by hugs. Buffs, accent. Debuffs, hearing the word reparations. Strength, high. It takes strong willpower to eat their bland food. Speed, high. Probably because they're always running from their feelings. Resistance, compliments. IQ, very high. Brilliant at figuring out how to exploit others. Happiness, very low. Anytime one of them smiles, someone will say, "Oi, look at this cunt over here." Endurance, high. Decades of rain and bad weather have made them impermeable to emotional attacks. Luck, average. Lost their empire, but somehow kept the Commonwealth as a consolation prize. And special ability, Imperial Kirby. Can absorb abilities from other cultures. Next up, Jewish. HP, low. Turns out anxiety doesn't help your immune system. Buffs, negotiating. Debuffs, side profile pics. Strength, comedy. Turn generational trauma into stand-up gold. Speed, average. Quick when they smell a sale, slow to pick up the check. Resistance, tipping over 10%. IQ, low. 40 years of roaming the desert and not one of you said, "I don't think this Moses cat knows where he's going." Happiness, very low. A Jewish mother can make you feel bad about something you didn't even do. Endurance, max. They're borderline unkillable. Poverty, plague, camps, nothing seems to work. Luck, terrible. On top of being history's scapegoat, again, side profile, not the greatest. And special ability, passive irritant. Who uses the urinal next to someone when there's clearly other options available? What? You don't pee next to someone unless it's the last option, okay? It's Monday, Friday, Wednesday, and if those are taken, you slip into Tuesday or Thursday.
What does it matter?
This isn't a team-building activity, okay? And if you must know, I got a little bit of a shy bladder.
Just pretend I'm not here.
Well, your arm rubbing up against me isn't helping my stream.
It's a public restroom. I'm allowed to use whatever urinal I want.
You had the end spot. That's prime real estate. But instead, you decided to stand shoulder to shoulder?
How about we just go back to ignoring each other?
Fine. Do you really have to moan? So after crunching the numbers, I can safely say that people with the best stats are, drumroll, the whites. Obviously, we always win. Sure, other stats might be better, but there's no patch notes for how broken we are. So that's my vid on which race types of people have the best stats. Probably a little different from some of the other content you've seen on YouTube. And that's for two reasons. One, because most people are talentless bitches. And two, because they're afraid. Afraid of trying something new. Afraid of getting canceled. Afraid of seeing a green icon turn into a yellow icon. But greatness doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from taking chances. And if you want to make generic 8-minute vids, copying or reacting to other people's ideas and attempt to give handies to the algo, then you do you. But your boy just can't do that. When I hear an idea like which streamers are bottoms or Drake dating simulator, I just feel compelled to finger bang it into existence. However, this comes at a cost, and that cost being money. Now sure, I could go the Tatman route and sell drugs to kids, but I'd rather do something a little less soulless. So if you want to support your boy, then subscribe to my brand new compilation channel, Offending All Day, where I can spend all day thrusting my ignorance in you. You know what you want to do. Oh, you want to push that subscribe button. Oh, push the button. Push the button. Key in my car, breaking and entering, eating my sandwich! These are just some of the crazy things my ex did. So here's a story about the wildest person I've ever been with, named Angie. It was my third year at college and I was heading to the woods to smoke when key in my car, breaking and entering, eating my sandwich! These are just some of the crazy things my ex did. So here's a story about the wildest person I've ever been with, named Angie. It was my third year at college and I was heading to the woods to smoke when I see a woman hysterically crying. I was like, hey girl, you look like you're having a rough go of it. You wanna smoke some sticky icky? She hesitates at first and says, sure. So we began walking to the woods, and all I could think about was how easy it'd be to kidnap her. She had no idea who I was, and now we're walking somewhere where no one would hear her scream. Talk about rookie mistake. But lucky for her, I had morals. And no rope. Anyway, she introduced herself. Hey, I'm Angie. Pleasure to meet you, Angie. I'm Steve Storms. You're lying. Nope, that's my real name. That's crazy, because I have a thunderstorm tattoo in the back of my neck. Here, push my hair aside and you'll see. So I stand behind her, palm her hair, and immediately get aroused. Johnson's like, whoa, we doing this right now? Relax, this is step one. What was that? Oh, yeah, lovely tattoo. Anyway, we get to the woods, we're laughing, having a good time when I say, so what got you all hot and bothered? Well, I just broke up with my boyfriend. Johnson's like, game on. I said, oh, that's terrible to hear, all while barely making eye contact. She was wearing a low-cut shirt, and it was cold outside. A little hard to make eye contact, you know? Plus, drugs were impacting my decision-making. Sober me is respectful me. High me is fun bags pretty. So after our smoke session, I spit some game and get her number. Now, I'd planned on giving her some time to recover, as she just went through a rough breakup, but after a few days of texting, my Johnson's like, put it in! So I invite her back to my place for a movie. She agrees, and for the first 20 minutes, things are going well, until she brings up her RA. Talk about how hot he is, and how sometimes she sneak into his room and hide under his covers. Needless to say, this was a huge turnoff, and my Johnson was like a deflated balloon. Party over. So once the movie was done, I asked her to leave. The next day, she goes back to flirt texting me, but I wasn't having it. I'm like, girl, why are you writing this to me? Shouldn't you be sending this to your RA? She goes, no, it's not like that. We're just friends. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then my Johnson's like, psst, psst. Remember those nips? I'm like, damn, Jim Dog, you make a compelling argument. Well, I guess I could give her another chance. So I invite her over again for another movie, but this time my roommates aren't leaving. They're like, we gave you the room the other day and you dropped the ball. I'm like, that's a valid point. Whatever. We'll just all watch it together. 10 minutes in and she starts texting me. This movie's boring. Wish we were doing something more interesting. Winky face. So after pondering for a moment, I said out loud, hey Ange, you wanna go in my room? Sure. Then 2 quick high fives to my roommates later, and we're doing the dirty. And this chick was wild. Moaning, contorting her body, whispering in my ear, you're so big. It was magical. Afterwards, I'd even smoked cigarettes and somehow had one in my mouth. I'm like, damn girl, that was some good fucking. Anyway, Angie came over again a few days after, and a few days after that, then she started coming over every day. Best part was, she would leave leave afterwards. Oh, it was the dream. Working with no commitments, what more could a college student want? But what I neglected to realize was how lazy it'd make me. You see, when a guy's hunting for Kitty, he's on his A game, freshly trimmed, looking sharp, and smelling like a burrito in a nightclub. But when Kitty's guaranteed, we get lazy. I'll give an example. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'd go to karate in the morning. Afterwards, I'd head back to my room where Angie be in my bed waiting for me. Now, normally I'd shower first, as I just sweat my balls off, but one day she presses me up against the door and starts me. I'm like, damn girl, if you don't care, I don't care. And this only made me get lazier. Because not only did I stop showering before baby making, but I stopped showering after. That stank just be following me around from class to class. Why does it smell like shit and shame in here? And because Poon was guaranteed, I stopped hunting for Kitty altogether. Why go to the bar and spoon feed White Claws into a chick when I already had one back in my room, ready to swallow whatever I gave her? None of that, hey, let's go dancing for 45 minutes as I dry hump you into thinking I'd be good into the bedroom. Bitch is already in my bed twerking. So this continued for the rest of the semester until we're about to head home for the summer. Angie texts me saying, come to my room. We need to talk. Now, normally I'd be freaking out, thinking she's about to say she's pregnant, but there's no way. Cause sure, we were talking on the regs, but she was so good at taking birth control. Every day at 4 p.m., no matter what was happening, she'd snap and say, pills. It's not even like she set alarms. She just had a baby-ending spider sense. Time to die, kid. So I went up to her room and she says, do you want a date? Because you'll be living off campus next year, and this won't be as simple as going down a flight of stairs to see one another. That's a good point. You know what? Let me think about it. So after a day of pondering, I was like, oh, hell no. Because even though we had great chemistry in the bedroom, the bitch never laughed at my jokes. I'd be killing in the school pool and she'd just be floating there motionless like Matthew Perry's corpse. Start swimming, buddy. Anyway, I meet back up with Ange and let her down the best way I could. She seemed to take it all right, not realizing her brain was beginning to tweak. That summer, I'm on Facebook, posting on a bunch of hotties' walls, not realizing Ange was seeing this, bugging the out. So much so, she would call up my friends hysterically crying. Friends be like, well, you aren't dating, so what's the problem? The problem being, Ange's feelings had tied up her logic and had no plans of setting them free. Fast forward to the beginning of fall semester, and my roommates and I are having a party. Things are going great until Ange comes over and starts cock-blocking the shit out of me. She wasn't even pretending. At one point, she sits down in the middle of a Kings game going, I want to play. We're kind of in the middle of, whatever, here's some cards. So I go back to macking on the chick next to me when Ange says, I have to go to the bathroom. Ladies, come with me. Keep in mind, she doesn't know any of the women there. So they all pile in the bathroom, and I'm looking at the guys going, this isn't good. A few minutes later, they come out, and surprise, surprise, none of them want to play anymore. I'm like, Ange, what did you say to them? She goes, nothing. I'm like, all right, that's it, bitch. Get the out. She starts to cry, pretending she's the victim, but I could care less. I knew with her around, I was never getting laid. So I said, get out of here. A few days later, I'm walking to a bar when I see one of my friends across the street. I'm like, Adrian. He looks at me and keeps walking, but my drunk ass is like, well, maybe he didn't recognize me. So I run over and I'm like, hey, homie. Adrian was being real apprehensive, and I'm like, what's wrong, man? Did I say something horrible? If I did, I'm sorry. Nah, I thought you were angry at me. Why would I be angry at you? Well, Ange said, that bitch is crazy. But even though we hashed things out, I was still super pissed. Because if Ange is telling this guy I don't want to speak to him, then she's probably doing it to others. Now I'm missing out on connections and experiences because some bitch is lying about me? Oh, I was heated. So drunk me thought, what is the meanest thing I could do right now? I could call her some basic insult like punt or bore, but I'm crafty and I could do better than that. Then it hit me. You see, the last time we were and I thought, you know what, this doesn't feel that tight. So while I was her, I stuck in a finger, then 2 fingers, then I stuck my whole hand. Now granted, my hand was curled, but that's still a lot of digits to cram in a clam. And that's when I came up with the greatest nickname ever, Whole Hand Ange. It's the chef's kiss of insults. So I text Angie that her new nickname around campus is Whole Hand Ange. Needless to say, she did not take it very well and text back literal death threats. It's really brightened up my day, you know? The next day I get a text from a number I don't recognize, and it turns out it's Ange's sister. She goes on this huge rant of, you have no idea who you're messing with, and I'll ruin your life for disrespecting my sister. Now, of course, I showed my homies, who all had a good laugh, and now we're spitballing ideas of things to write back when I say, hey, how about I respect your sister, I wash my hand before playing her like a puppet. Even my buddies are like, bro, that might be a little much. So I wrote it out and was about to send when I started to have second thoughts. Because normally my brain always picks the funny option, regardless of how much trouble it will get me in. 'Tis my how to be your high school teacher video. But in this one moment, I thought, you know what? I probably should let this go. However, I didn't let anything else go. Over the next few weeks, I'd get DMs from guys on Facebook threatening to beat the shit out of me, and I'd always respond back with, you are adorable. Because I get they're trying to protect someone who's spoon-feeding them lies, but threatening someone on Facebook is like a 10 with herpes. Flashy at first glance, but ultimately worthless. It's also funny to me that Ange was telling people I'm harassing her, as she's encouraging people to harass me. Like, damn girl, you don't see any projection here? And even though she seemed hyper-fixated on me, I could care less about her. Because no matter how many times I I never loved her, so I didn't have this emotional desire to get revenge. But I did enjoy seeing her, because every time we'd bump into each other, she'd scream, "I fucking hate you!" And just think for a moment how much power that is. My mere presence is enough to ruin someone's day. Oh, it made me so happy. But this only added to Angie's insanity, and in December, I get a phone call from Campus PD telling me to come down to the station. Obviously, I'm really nervous, because 95% of the time when a girl says a guy's harassing her, she's right. But luckily, the cops were very reasonable.
A woman named Angie is claiming you're harassing her. Now, we've heard her side of the story. We'd like to hear yours.
So the first thing I told him is we used to have sex in the regs.
Wait a minute. You used to have a romantic relationship?
Yeah, why do you think all this is happening? The cop just rolls his eyes and says,
Continue.
Then I showed him all the threatening texts and messages I got, and by the end of it, the officer was completely on my side. However, because police were called on a student, I also had to go speak to the director of student affairs. And this bitch was the polar opposite. Before I said anything, she just starts listing threats. Harassment to students will not be tolerated, and you could be expelled for blah, 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 blah. After minutes of listening to this chick rant, I said, "So, you've only heard one side of a story and immediately came to a conclusion? Huh, I didn't realize an accusation was a conviction. Maybe you should take some of my criminal justice classes and see how gathering evidence is important when it comes to a potential crime." Needless to say, she was pissed, but I just sat there arms crossed like, I know you got nothing, bitch. Fast forward to Valentine's Day, and I'm dating this lovely girl named Rachel. We're both walking on campus holding hands when we bump into Angie, who goes ballistic, screaming, you, you piece of shit." My girl starts chewing her out, saying, "He doesn't want your stinky cooter anymore, you flat-faced bitch." I'm laughing, dragging my girl away, saying it's not worth it. Just ignore her. The next day, I get another call from campus police, so I go down to the station and speak to the same officer who says,
So we got more complaints of harassment?
"Officer, I've done my best to avoid her, and in the time I've spoken to you, I've only bumped into her once on Valentine's Day when I was with my girlfriend." Officer was trying to remain professional, but I could tell he's like, "Ugh."
I can't believe I got to deal with this nonsense.
A week later, I get a call from Ange saying, "We need to." I'm thinking she's going to try to bury the hatchet. Nope. Turns out her paranoia was at max, and she says, "I know you keep stalking me, and if you don't stop,
fair.
I'll be
I mean,
forced to
that's
take legal action."
Oh,
At first,
I
I'm being
can't.
real neutral, saying, "Ange, I'm not stalking you."
Okay, let's go fight me.
I'm curious if this is gonna fling you.
Sound like in the middle of it. Yeah, that's probably
Yep.
roughly the middle.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, yep.
I won't try coursing, so. Okay.
Oh. What? Nice.
Perfect
This is
balance.
so broken, bro.
Well, it's not because of one wrong move and we are gonna explode.
True. Are you gonna go for the tunnel?
I'm just trying to be steady so that you don't hit the roof of the tunnel.
Uh-huh. Wee. Oh!
See what I mean? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, we're alive.
What the fuck? Did you take damage?
No.
Okay.
See what I mean? I can't really do big angles. I have to like
You
be
know what the
steady.
funny thing is? This easily could be like a new method for dropping people off.
Well, oh, I guess you don't
So
really see the Hornet has seats, and that's why it's so good.
it does?
Yeah, it has side seats, so you can drop up to 2 people with you.
Huh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, and that's what I use for troop transport because you never get really more than 2 Marines in.
Unless you're boarding a plane.
Yeah, but in that case, you would be better off with a Falcon because Pelicans don't fit in the hangar
Yeah.
of the housing.
By the way, Val,
Come to rule me.
the thingy is basically just land at all 3 points and then some dogfighting.
Come to rule me, Elena.
Huh?
Come to
Yeah.
rule me. Hop in a Banshee.
I don't think I want to.
Yes, you do.
Fuck. Fine. Okay.
I'll go
We're
to
just-
C. You can pick your poison.
Alright.
I need more practice because apparently I'm trash.
So am I. So am I.
Perfect. See?
We could just hunt down Val, because I think he's on URFT. Sounds like a skill issue. Alright, I'm ready.
I'm also
You
ready.
are-
And go.
Don't worry, I can see that. Alright, we're good. We're good. We can go.
Oh, okay. You're not. My aim is trash.
Actually, yes, it is. I'm not even.
You weren't supposed to agree with me.
Alright. Not a single hit.
Oh,
Oh, there's one hit. My aim is worse.
you're hitting in my general vicinity.
70%.
Oh, I have no speed.
Hi, friend.
Hey.
Wait,
100
will I
health, by
land?
the way.
I suck at I'm mainly flying just so I can like drop people off. That's my main reason.
Fair enough.
I'm not really good with a fixed gun like that.
Yeah, it's not great. I thought it had better fire rate. Oh, it also has spread.
To be fair, I mean it's literally meant for air to ground. It's not our air vehicle.
Oh. Yeah,
We just use it for air to air.
I forgot it has spread. This is horrible. How do you live like this? Hornet is so much better, despite having no climb. Actually, no, Hornet has no climb, that's why you win. Okay, never mind. Banshees are actually not bad. Yeah, they're
Even
better
though
than Hornets.
they're a bigger hitbox.
What, Hornets or Banshees?
Serifs.
Oh, well...
Serifs are
yeah.
fucking massive. They're about the
Serifs are
size.
scary, dude. Serifs are terrifying. Oh. I'm stuck. Help. What did I clip into? What happened? I
Have
don't
fun.
know what's happening.
Let me read what he was posting, by the way.
Okay, this Banshee is stuck. Hey, yep. Oh, never mind, it's unstuck now. What did
Why
you do?
now? Oh, fuck. How did I not take damage?
Apparently very forgiving without landing gear.
Get away! Stop it! Man, I'm trying to land. Don't fling me
Oh,
down
okay.
now. I have no idea what proper.
Wait,
Oh,
where did the Spectre gun go? Who stole the Spectre gun?
Gone.
Is there a different Spectre? No? What do
I
ground
don't
units
know
do when there
why.
is...
RPGs and pray to God.
Ah, of course.
Oh yeah, it does slide a little bit, doesn't it?
Hey, what the?
Also, 500 studs is really forgiving for altitude. I realized how high that is. Oh shit!
How did you explode midair?
What do you think?
Oh wow.
Go kill him.
It's fine. Hornets have no climb. Hornets are complete trash. I can be going so much slower and then still peak higher than does.
Let me know when you're ready now.
Oh, but the Banshee. That's well, he's dogfighting me now.
Don't worry, I have a solution. Ah, alright. All good. We're just messing around at this point. Allow me to climb a little bit, please. Just a little. Just a little.
You have
Oh
more
my god.
climb.
Oh my god.
Just you have more climb. Hornets have no climb at all. Just speed up and then pitch up. Or
Yeah,
pitch down.
phantoms don't have a lot of climb either. They're pretty slow.
Yeah, but the Hornet is even worse then.
No, no, I just tried it. Hornet literally outsped me.
No, because he was already going. He was already faster and higher.
Oh.
So he had an advantage because he was starting higher and, you know. How am I so trash at aiming? Holy shit.
So yeah, the Phantom is kind of like a tank. You know why? Instead of the standard like 200% that Falcons
It has
get,
like
gets
500, doesn't it?
500, yeah.
Yep.
Literally a tank. It's not an aircraft, it's a tank.
So trash at aiming. Holy shit. Are you taking any damage at all, Val? Yeah, that's alright.
Cool down Gopher. I'm not gonna spawn anymore though, because I don't know. I'm getting it.
Yeah, because Hornets have no climb. I have, if I just go at the same speed as you, I have much more climb. Except I do flip, because I don't know how to control this thing. Base lords don't flip when you put them sideways, this thing does. Why does it do that? Holy shit, I was going straight. I hate this thing. What did they do to it? It was not that bad. I don't think so. You can try it. Yeah, you're good. It does flip really easily. That's annoying.
That hurts. Owie.
Yeah, I've got movement left over from other helicopter types, but like the flipping really throws me. No chance. Okay, what if I go really slow? Please don't flip. Please don't flip. Please don't flip. Okay, nice. I figured it out. You can go like in a spiral. Oh yeah, I kept seeing Seraphs going in spiral. That's probably why. Do Seraphs also have this flipping problem? Please cooperate, Banshee.
My fingers are cold.
Got somebody to suck them. Because I'm trash. I hate this thing. Oh, I lost you. Oh, never mind. Be afraid. Just hit. There we go. Absolute trash. Why does it flip so much?